Does this mean Sheryl Sandberg was wrong when she told women to lean in?
Look, I think that book came at a time and place in feminism where people were really keen to hear that they could do more, be more to succeed at work. But the message is fundamentally flawed. It's basically asking women to fit into workplaces that were never designed for them in the first place.
So what should workplaces do? Netflix, for example, has a fairly unique approach to company culture, putting power back in the hands of employees with things like unlimited vacation, a hands-off expense policy. And I'm sure you could say it better than me, but the idea is that if you treat people like adults, they should act like adults. How much of that could be exported elsewhere?
Yeah, look, I've just joined Netflix, so I can't really speak to them specifically, but in terms of what workplaces can do to create a culture of equality, it's really about ensuring you know what the barriers are that women and minorities face at work, and you take steps to remove those and create a workplace culture where people are valued for their individual identities and where people have the freedom to be themselves at work. There's a big focus on creating belonging, an environment where employees feel that they can contribute in their unique way. And currently we don't have that. Most employees have to conform to sort of a 1950s outdated ideal that doesn't really serve anybody, not men or women. And so this is really about creating the right culture and organizations where women can thrive.
Yeah, Michelle, I was intrigued by that 1950s ideal that you mentioned, because men are expected to fit some certain gendered stereotypes in the workplace as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that my research found that I was surprised at myself. I assumed that this outdated, what I call the Don Draper ideal in workplaces worked for men, and it simply doesn't. When you look at the barriers that men face in terms of their advancement and their ability to thrive in the workplace, there are many as a result of this. Things like male silencing at work, male bullying, the challenges men face integrating work life and home life, and their inability to be able to talk about these difficulties in workplaces. So I always say, gender inequality is one of the best things to ever have happened to men. They maybe just don't know it yet.
So, some of the takeaways from your book, Michelle, diversity programs are largely not working. Despite increased parental leave, workplaces are failing parents. What are some concrete things that managers and the rank and file can do if so much of what they are doing isn't working out?
Look, I think the main thing we're asking leaders to do is lead. We need leaders to manage the day-to-day inequality moments as and when they happen. And in order to do that and to be aware of how inequalities showing up in your workplace, you have to know what the barriers are so that when the inequality moments happen, you can recognize them and intervene, speak up, advocate on behalf of women, take action to manage those moments, use those moments as learning moments or teaching moments for your teams. And in order to do that, we need leaders to really disrupt their denial. One of the things my research found was that most leaders are in denial about the inequality that men and women experience in workplaces. They believe that workplaces are meritocracies, that they function for everybody in the same way, and that's simply not the case. Living up to this outdated ideal is what creates challenges and barriers to people's advancement at work.
And quickly, should the end game be to make more money? Do you believe that all of this can lead to better business, whether you are Netflix or any company? Quickly.
Yes, there's an amazing study out by Accenture that shows in organizations that have a culture of equality, you are 6 times more likely to have an innovation mindset, you're more likely to problem solve better and, create a workforce that is prepared for the technological advancements that are coming due to AI, robotics, nanotechnology. So, this is really about future-proofing your workplace.